Joe McKenzie, what a day it has been for law enforcement. If you can see an ambulance behind me, that is where the suspect is right now. He was apprehended about 30 to 45 minutes ago. That's 400 bales of cotton on fire. Who'd have thought you'd have to get your temperature checked before visiting a gentleman's club? Well, that's the new protocol here at Club Cheetah before things really heat up inside. Can you believe it? They let me on the City of Alice's float. My heart was racing as I turned corners, eventually confronting the gunman. It's a split-second decision to pull the trigger. It's that adrenaline pumping, you never know. Joe, I was actually in the neighborhood to talk to some of the neighbors about the house being on the market when I noticed a bunch of squad cars around the house. Come to find out, someone was inside this house and it wasn't the owner. And as you can see, it looks like a calculator, and when you click on it, it even works like a calculator, but what it's really asking for is a 4-digit code you already programmed into it when you downloaded, and then it takes you to a secret album. Hopefully Elijah, the operator over there, doesn't go too crazy, but yes, I'm here at the kickoff to the Buck Days Rodeo. All right, Joe McKenzie, I'm gonna work off these Reese's. Back to you guys in studio. We are learning more information about the man who police say opened fire at NAS Corpus Christi Thursday morning before he was killed by security. Del Mar College officials saying Adam Salim Al-Sali was a student there. I'm Taylor Alanis. We begin tonight here at home, where thieves targeted a local church over the weekend, stealing thousands of dollars worth of equipment from their storage unit. Over at Lazy Beach Brewery off of Yorktown, it wasn't just about the beer today, as it was about some South Texas staples. Yep, that's right. I'm talking about the Big Red and Barbacoa Festival. It's music to these patrons' ears.
Welcome out, Club Cheetah.
You know, it's like, wow, back home.
For the first time in weeks, their favorite entertainers are hitting the stage.
On the main.
A lot of the girls are excited. A lot of the girls are happy to be back to make some money.
Some just a little more covered up than before.
The dancers actually aren't required to wear masks. We request that they do when walking around the floor.
Club Cheetah on Corpus Christi's South Side welcomed customers back just before Memorial Day weekend.
People just want to, get out there now. So, of course, people are going to come to Cheetah's.
We are taking the party all the way to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Last night, it felt like a re-grand opening.
The club went dark in March because of the COVID-19 pandemic.
Well, I started 3 months before the pandemic started, so it was kind of a bummer for me.
Now, Texas Governor Greg Abbott is allowing bars to open at 25%.
We're doing a little bit extra than what is required. The only thing that really is mandated for requirement is keeping a distance of 6 feet, or at least a good social distance between parties and people, which is going to be our biggest challenge because nobody really wants to do that.
The president of Club Cheetah, Richard Conlon, says tables are separated, only seating 6 people each. And if you aren't seated, you can't be served.
We have to use plastic. We're not using any glassware whatsoever. Everything's disposable.
Oh, and there's one more step before you get past security. Who'd have thought you'd have to get your temperature checked before visiting a gentleman's club? Well, that's the new protocol here at Club Cheetah before things really heat up inside.
You come in, they got hand sanitizers everywhere.
Even though customers or dancers like Jocelyn don't have to wear masks,
Entertainers, what we have to promote is our body and our face.
management is requiring other staff to wear them.
We're constantly wiping down, disinfecting before shift, after shift, and obviously chairs and whatnot throughout the shift.
But what about more intimate dances, like in the champagne room?
It's up to both on a mutual level, however they feel comfortable. Dancing is discouraged, but it's not illegal.
Some dancers say the pandemic makes the job a little riskier than it already is.
It's a little scary because a lot of people from out of town come here. So that's something that's always been in my head.
Jocelyn says the reward is worth it.
When this is your only hustle, you kind of have to put things aside to get your money.
For an industry that sometimes gets a dirty reputation.
Once I get it, I put it in my bag. Hand sanitize, on to the next customer.
Gentlemen's clubs are doing what they can to keep their businesses squeaky clean.
We want everybody to have a good time and be relaxed.
Taylor Alanis, 3 News.
Our Taylor Alanis is live tonight outside the Clayburgh County Jail with more on the arrival and the first view of Williams. Again, it happened just moments ago. Taylor?
Yeah, Joe, Leslie, again, just moments ago, 33-year-old Adam Williams was escorted by the Clayburgh County Sheriff and his deputies into those doors into the Clayburgh County Jail. Now, Sheriff's deputies say Williams was extradited from Mexico this morning to Houston, where he was brought before a judge and then driven to Kingsville. It was just 2 days ago when investigators released this photo taken at the border in Eagle Pass. The photo from October 21st shows Williams and a woman later identified as Amanda Nover driving a truck and RV belonging to slain New Hampshire couple Michelle and James Butler. Deputies say Williams and Nover were found in Jalisco, Mexico, along with their 3-year-old son. Investigators say Amanda Nover is detained in Mexico with their son. She has not been charged with anything so far. Here's what we know about them. Both come from Salt Lake City area, and Williams is no stranger to the law. He has several sexual abuse charges in the state of Utah, and as far as here in Clayburgh County, he is charged with felony theft so far. It's been a little more than a week since deputies found the bodies of Michelle and James Butler, and deputies say even though Williams is in custody, he has not been charged with their murder. And despite this being a big win for law enforcement today, there still is a lot to investigate. Again, they have not been charged yet, and they are questioning them to find out exactly why they had Michelle and James Butler's RV and truck and exactly what happened to them. I did get the chance to ask Williams a question to see if he knew them. He said no, he did not, and he did not do this. For now, live at the Clayburgh County Jail, Taylor Alanis, 3 News. A dangerous sport, dirt racing, and while most kids might be playing video games or other sports, this 16-year-old is behind the wheel and racing against the top competitors in South Texas.
It's like my happy place. I get relaxed, and you got to go to work and do what you got to do to get up to the front.
Calallen High School junior Triton Temple started speeding down the raceway before he was even old enough to get a driver's license.
My dad's raced all his life, so I guess you could say it's in the genetics. So.
And he's already gaining traction in the Texas dirt racing world.
99 is on the move, Triton Temple.
I think we got something special here.
Taking on 5 wins and placing in the top 3 18 times.
We average about 30 cars a night, so yeah, and there's sometimes it will be 40.
Sometimes reaching speeds of 100 miles per hour, Triton really has to keep up with his factory stock car.
We do all kinds of work. We change tires, we put the body on here, from shocks to springs we change everything to go to each track every weekend.
Before buckling in, Triton has to put on a fire retardant suit, gloves, a helmet, plus head and neck restraints. His dad says he still gets nervous watching him race.
Texas Motor Speedway last 2 weeks ago was definitely toes curling, and as my baby rolls down the back straightaway there.
Triton's next race is Saturday, October 5th in Pleasanton.
We've won 5 races. We won a championship last week, and we're going to get another championship this weekend.
This rookie says he'll continue hitting the dirt hard and leaving his competitors in the dust. Taylor Alanis, 3 News. Anne LeBlanc was here at home enjoying a cup of coffee. When she looked outside, she saw police had surrounded her home. And well, the whole thing was captured on home surveillance.
Come outside with your hands raised all the way up, nice and slowly.
I walked outside and there was probably 15 or 12 cops, and they all had big guns pointed at me.
23-year-old Cheyenne LeBlanc remembers September 7th as a nightmare.
I'm just freaking out thinking I'm gonna get shot.
LeBlanc was alone at her parents' home on Odessa Drive and scared for her life.
I walked out with my hands up and just like this, crying really, really bad.
She says she listened to officers' directions.
She searched me and then she handcuffed me. Again, I lost it and I got stuck in a cop car.
City police! City police! City police! Anybody inside?
She says police started asking her questions.
Specifically where my brother was and where my stepdad was.
LeBlanc says her brother was out of town, and that's when officers told her what was going on.
They had got a call saying that 6 of us from the house hostage and I was still walking around, that I'd be home.
She says police told her that the caller claimed to be her brother, Josh Holt, and that he had shot 2 people, including his dad, and was going to turn the gun on himself.
I freaked out hearing that, and my dad's at work. I'm like, this makes no sense.
Police quickly figured out it was a prank call.
It could have been a neighbor, it could have been anybody. Could have been, we just don't know right now.
Even though he was halfway upstate at the time, Holt says he has an idea. That same morning, he received a message from a stranger on a video game chat room.
He started cursing me out, and I didn't know what was going on. And so he started listing off my address, started listing off like landline numbers, and he started making threats, death threats.
Although not a technical term, swatting is when people make false reports of a shooting or emergency situation where a SWAT team is called to a location. The dangerous trend has swept through the online gaming community.
It ties up officers from doing legitimate calls.
But officers say LeBlanc did the right thing.
You see a bunch of officers there. My simple answer to that is just comply with the officers.
The family is still shaken, but thankful no one was hurt.
Somebody could SWAT our house again. They could, call our schools and make hoax threats there too.
The family says they hope this doesn't happen to them again, and they are just waiting on CCPD to see where they are in the investigation. On the city's south side, Taylor Alanis, 3 News.